Today I'll be reviewing the final movie in the MCU's Phase 3, Spider-Man Far From Home, so don't put your phone down just yet. Hello everyone and welcome to Movies in a Nutshell, where we talk about movies in a quick way so you can get on with your day. I am your friendly neighborhood host, Detective Artemis, and before we go on, hit that thumbs up button because I know it, you know it, Topher Grace knows it. You really want to like this. Please, today our movie will be Spider-Man Far From Home. In this video, we'll be talking about spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, hit that watch other button on this video, go and watch the movie, and then come back in and join in the discussion. Go! Or if you don't care about spoilers, sit back and let's talk. Once again, directed by Jon Watts, who directed Spider-Man Homecoming, this is the 23rd movie in the MCU. Goddamn, 23 movies. Here we are. I mean, organically speaking, shouldn't Avengers Endgame be the end of Phase 3? But then again, here we are. In Feige we trust. Our story here is about Peter Parker dealing with the death of his friend and mentor Tony Stark. Unable to handle the pressure of being the next Iron Man, he decides to go on a school trip to Europe so he can just get away from it all. He's all like, fuck responsibility, I need a vacay. Once in Europe, he meets Mysterio fighting an elemental monster. Mysterio then tells him that he's from a multiverse and he's here to warn Peter about these elemental monsters who destroyed his world, and now they gotta stop this fire one from destroying his world. Well, Spider-Man's world. So they team up with Nick Fury and Maria Hill to take down this fire elemental before their world goes up in flames. In the movie, they explain that Thanos' snap was called the blip, meaning those who disappeared remained the same age, and the ones who stayed all grew up. I mean, this is pretty much here to fix up that plot hole in Endgame about everyone, still being in high school after all the time passed. That's what it was there for. Mysterio is painted here like a noble good guy, complete with a tragic backstory. But obviously, most people know he's a bad guy. Now, this is pretty much straight from his first debut in the comics, where he pretended to be a good guy to pretty much make Spider-Man look bad and to frame him. So I was just like, heel turn imminent. I've also come to terms that we'll never see Sandman, Hydro Man, and Multiman in the MCU because what we saw in the movie, that was it. They even said that the Hydro monster was Morris Bench, Hydro Man's real name. To me, that kind of sucks because Spider-Man has the second best rogues gallery, and in one movie, 3 are gone in one go. But who is that Cyclone one? Was it Whirlwind? Doesn't matter. He was garbage anyway. I also really didn't like how we have Spider-Man once again in Iron Man's shadow. Like, this is still really about Iron Man. They even do a tongue-in-cheek joke where he's like, even in death, I'm still the hero. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I know it's right after Endgame, we have to deal with the aftermath of it, but goddamn, get off his dick already. Spider-Man is supposed to be a solid solo superhero. He doesn't need anybody else. He's not just some goofy sidekick. He's not supposed to have access to fucking infinite technology. He's supposed to be super broke and have the odds stacked against him at all times. And also invent his own goddamn costumes because he is an inventor. I mean, sure, he made the web shooters, but it stopped there. He will never have a care in the world with Stark technology right behind him. I mean, whatever he needs, he could just make it right there. No drama for him. Also, why is he always teaming up with someone in his own movie? I mean, in Homecoming, he teamed up with Iron Man, of course. And here he teams up with Mysterio, Maria Hill, and Nick Fury. I mean, do they not think he is capable by himself? Does the studio think that Tom Holland can't carry a movie by himself? I mean, for one, it's goddamn Spider-Man. He can carry the movie by himself. And also, the over-reliance of help is really making this Spider-Man look weak and like he can't do shit on his own. I mean, I really like Tom Holland, but they kind of made him like Morty. Aw, jeez, Mr. Stark, what are we gonna do? I also really hate his Spider-Man voice. I mean, I know he's a teenager, it's supposed to be all cracky and stuff, but it's really annoying to hear. It's worse than my voice. And for once, I would like to have a Spider-Man movie where he doesn't take off his mask 90% of the time. And also, if he can go through one movie without anyone knowing who he is, that would be great. Once upon a time, secret identities were pretty cool. Rant over. The chemistry here between Peter Parker and MJ is good, but I'm still trying to get over the fact that MJ is not this party girl who loves to be the center of attention, and then becomes one of the most caring and selfless people in his life. In this movie, she is the exact opposite, an introvert, and kind of like Allison from The Breakfast Club. She's all like, death is pretty cool. Now, I know Liberty's going to be taking the characters to make them feel fresh and make them modernize with today's audiences, but still, I'm just like, that's not really MJ. But then again, like the scrolls said, embrace change. More on them later. Nitpicking aside, there were a lot of awesome moments. Like when Mysterio's fighting Spider-Man and fucking with his head, making altering reality and stuff. That was straight classic Mysterio. That's something I wanted to see, hoped to see, and I got to see. And that was awesome. Also towards the end where he's fighting Mysterio with the spider sense scene, or the Peter tingles, and he runs out of web. Classic Spider-Man. I love how he runs out of web. That's great. That's supposed to add to the drama and completely, add more odds against him. So he uses spider sense right there to fuck up all those drones in a really cool and pretty badass way. So I thought that was really great. The ending of this movie shows that Mysterio was the bad guy the whole time. I mean, who would have saw that coming? Even if you never heard of Mysterio before, he was way too nice and way too cool to Peter. So me, with trust issues, I would be like, this motherfucker's up to something. He pretty much lied about everything, including the multiverse. Thank God I was not ready for some multiverse stuff. Leave that shit with DC and keep our 616 intact, please. We also find out that Mysterio actually used to work for Tony Stark. Again, another Spider-Man villain who is tied to Iron Man. Like in Homecoming, Vulture, also tied to him. We gotta keep Iron Man and Spider-Man separated. Please, I am so sick of this. He pretty much wanted to get revenge on Tony Stark, though he was a little late for that. So what does he do? He gets his technology and makes him the new Iron Man, fucking up his legacy. Alright, I also like how they tied into things together from Civil War and Iron Man 1. That was pretty cool, but again, it's still about Iron Man. It just really makes this movie feel like less of a Spider-Man standalone. Oh, and also, Peter and MJ, they end up together. Oh golly, I'm happy for them. Go get him, Tiger. Now we get to the end credit scenes. The first one shows an altered footage of Spider-Man and Mysterio, where Mysterio has like his guy uploaded and sent it to the Daily Bugle, and it's like making Spider-Man look like the villain. Now, you mentioned the Daily Bugle, news, and making Spider-Man look like the villain. You know who's coming up. That's right. J. Jonah Jameson makes his fucking MCU debut. And who do they cast? J.K. Simmons. I am not J. Kane. Now that's super cool and really nostalgic. I think I liked it, but it's like, can they not have anyone else play Jameson? Like I said, that was cool and all, but they gotta let go of the past. I mean, Tobey Maguire was not the best Spider-Man. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but you gotta get with it. That movie has not aged well at all. Take away the train scene, Spider-Man 2 is pretty bad. It also means that J.K. Simmons is playing the same character in two separate universes. So he's probably all like, ah shit, here we go again. Oh, and Mysterio shows the entire world Spider-Man's identity. That's right, the entire fucking world, or at least New York, knows who Spider-Man is. Have his name and his picture right there. I hated that as well. The final end credit scene, we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill. They were actually Skrulls the whole time. That's right, Talos and his wife from Captain Marvel. They were actually sent there by Nick Fury, who is with the Skrulls in space. He's not even on Earth anymore. Now, what does that mean? I don't fucking know. Maybe now that S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone, they're forming SWORD? It also means that he's been in contact with them since the 90s in Captain Marvel and stuff, so this might not be the first time they switched places before, which is cool, and it's also kind of annoying. The real thing to take from this is that the Skrulls continue to be a big part of these movies, which means a secret invasion is imminent. Especially with the throwaway lines like, there's Kree sleeper cells? You know some shit's brewing. Now it's time to rate the movie, so let's take a look at the rate system, starting with the best from the left. We have awesome must watch, damn fine movie, good dumb fun, watching your board, and avoid at all costs. To me, this obviously had the best Spider-Man visuals we've ever seen in a movie. I love the soundtrack, and it actually nicely set up Phase 4. But I think the characterization of Spider-Man is still just a little off. I mean, his obsession with the responsibility, he would never take a vacation. He would just kind of go into an overdrive and sort of beat himself up along the way. Now, they decided to do take a brighter path, and it makes sense, I guess, but to me, that's not my Spider-Man. But if you set aside the old ways and embrace the change, this is actually a really fun movie. I also thought Mysterio was awesome, but I didn't like how he had ties to Iron Man. So maybe in part 3, Spider-Man will be his own actual hero this time. Maybe, hopefully, I doubt it. So I hereby declare Spider-Man Far From Home a damn fine movie. So what do you guys rate the movie? Vote in the poll above my head. Also, which villain do you think they're going to use in the next Spider-Man movie? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this amazing channel. I am Detective Artemis, and bitch please, you've been to space.